Are you able to see the screen, students? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today's students will start with the new topic. In the last class, I have taken up the divergence theorem. Okay, divergence theorem. We discussed the proof of that, the derivation of the divergence theorem. Next, we will be taking up the Coulomb's law in relation to the electrostatics. So when I use the word electrostatics, it means that the charges are static in nature. That means they are constant. They are not moving. So such charges we call them as electrostatic charges. Okay, or electrostatic. The meaning of electrostatic is the charges are constant. They are not moving. So such charges we call them as electrostatic charges. And the scientist who provided the law on this electrostatic charges is Coulomb, and accordingly he has stated a law which is called as the Coulomb's law. This Coulomb's law you all have studied in your PUC level or in your lower levels of your study, right? You might have studied this. According to the Coulomb's law, if there are two charges, let us say there are two charges, charge q1 and q2 are the two charges. Okay, they are maintained at a distance r. That means the distance between the two charges q1 and q2 is r, right? This is from the origin. This is the origin. From the origin, this q1 is at such distance, say r1, and from the origin, the distance of the charge q2 is say r2. Okay, the distance between the two charges is small r. The distance from the origin to the charge q1 is say r1. The distance from the origin to the charge q2 is say r2. Okay, then the force acting between the two charges, force acting between the two charges is said to be directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges, is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, and this force acts along the line joining the two point charges. The force acts along the line joining the two point charges, line joining the two point charges. Okay, so such a force is called as the electrostatic force, and the law is called as the Coulomb's law. What we have done here, we have considered two point charges q1 and q2 separated at distance r. The charge q1 is at a distance r1 from origin, then charge q2 is a distance of r2 from origin. Then the force between these two charges, the force acting between these two charges is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the two charges and inversely proportional to the distance between the two charges, inversely proportional to this distance small r, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Not only distance, it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Okay, then in mathematical form, this the formula for the force between the two charges or the electrostatic force is given by F is directly proportional to q1 into q2, product of the magnitude of the two charges, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. The distance between the two point charges is small r. It is inversely proportional to r square. This is called as the Coulomb's law, and accordingly, if we equate this equation, we'll get the constant of proportionality, that is F is equal to K into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. If I equate this proportionality constant, if I write in the term of an equation, I'll get a proportionality constant, that is F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where K is the constant of proportionality. Okay, let us see what is this k, what is the value of k. Anybody, any ideas, friends? What is the value of k here? K is given by, what is the value of k, proportionality constant in Coulomb's law?
Sir, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught.
Exactly, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, let us write that. The equation for the proportionality constant is k is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. Okay, Further, epsilon is written as epsilon naught into epsilon r. Okay, K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, where epsilon is epsilon naught into epsilon r. And what is epsilon naught? What is epsilon naught? It is permittivity of the free space. It's called as permittivity of the free space, and its value is given by 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad per meter. Value of epsilon naught is given by 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad per meter. What about epsilon r? Epsilon r is relative permittivity. That means it depends on the medium in which the two charges are present. It is relative permittivity. Therefore, we write the final equation for the force F as F is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. Therefore, F is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. That is our equation here. F is equal to Q1 into Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. Okay. Further, this epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. Now, if we are considering, say, the force, there are, say, two charges, say Q1 and Q2. Okay. In space, let us say there are two charges Q1 and Q2, and I am finding the force due to Q1 on Q2. See here how to use this notation. It is the force due to Q1 on Q2. Okay, is a force due to Q1 on Q2. This is given by the product of the two charges, that is Q1 into Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon. Now 4 pi epsilon, then the distance is r12 square between first charge and the second charge. It is r12 square of the distance multiplied by this a12. What is this a12, students? It is a unit vector. a12 is the unit vector. It gives the direction of the force. Okay, it gives the direction of the force. Okay, force is a vector quantity, because when you are applying a force, you say that you are applying the forward direction, or you are applying the force in the side direction, upward direction, downward direction. It is a vector quantity. Hence, we require the vector direction of the force that is given by this a12 bar. Then this a12 bar, as we know, that unit vector is given by the distance vector, or the vector here r1 to 2. Okay, if these are the two charges here Q1 and Q2, then we note that here the force acts along the line joining the 2-point charges. The force acts along the line joining the 2-point charges. Is it not? So if it is acting along the line joining the 2-point charges, what will be the unit vector? It is a distance vector. This distance vector r, okay, divided by its magnitude. Divided by its magnitude. That is the direction of the force. Okay, it is given by the distance vector, that is r, between Q1 and Q2 divided by its magnitude. Correct. That is why we are writing here the distance vector, or the unit vector. A12 bar is the distance between the 2-point charges, that is r2 minus r1 divided by its magnitude r2 minus r1. If we take one as r1, here r1, another one as r2. Okay, distance between from origin to Q1 as r1, then distance between from origin to Q2 as r2, then r2 minus r1, r2 minus r1, this distance divided by its magnitude. Okay, the difference between the two vectors, r2 vector minus r1 vector divided by its magnitude, that gives the direction of the force acting between Q1 and Q2. Okay, now we are considering what type of the force here. We are considering force due to Q1 on Q2. Force due to Q1 on Q2, I am representing it as FQ12. Force due to Q1 on Q2, I am representing it as FQ12, and that is given by this formula, where unit vector is given by R2 vector minus R1 vector divided by the difference vector magnitude, that is R2 minus R1 bar, its magnitude. Similarly, if I want to find the force due to Q2 on Q1, force due to Q2 on Q1, okay, then what will be the formula, students? Just I am interchanging Q1 and Q2. So Q2 comes first, then Q1 comes next. Q2 into Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon. Here it was R1 to 2, force due to Q1 on Q2. that is force due to Q2 on Q1. So it is R21. Okay, the first charge comes here. There is a serial number 2. Then the next on which it is acting, that will come next. It is 1, charge number 1. Square of that, then multiplied by the unit vector A21. Again, it is the first vector, that is the due to which charge the force is produced. Okay, and the charge on which the force is acting, that is the charge number 1, A21 bar. Therefore, again we have A21 bar is, this time it is R1 minus R2. We are finding the force due to Q2 on Q1. Force due to this Q2 on Q1, that is given by destination, that is R1 minus R2 divided by their magnitude, R1 minus R2. Okay, that is R1 vector minus R2 vector divided by the difference vector magnitude, that is magnitude of R1 vector minus R2 vector. Okay. Now, if there are n charges, then what will be the force exerted on the charge Q due to all other n charges? Okay, suppose say there is one charge, say Q. Okay, and there are many charges, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, and so on up till Qn. What will be the net force or the total force on the charge Q due to all these other charges from Q1 to Qn? Okay, then that force is given by the sum of the forces of the individual charges on this charge Q. That is the force of exerted by Q1 on Q, that is Fq1 Q bar, Fq1 Q bar, plus the force exerted by the charge Q2 on Q, force exerted by charge Q2 on Q, that is Fq2 Q bar, plus and so on the force exerted by the nth charge or the nth charge on the charge Q, that is Fqn Q bar plus Fqn Q bar. Okay, the sum of all these forces, that will give us the resultant force or the net force. That is, if so, then what is Fq1Q? Fq1Q is Q1 into Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, okay, R square into unit vector. Similarly, what is Q2Q? Q2Q is Q2 into Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into unit vector AQ2, A21 or A2Q bar. Okay, so if I write individually those formulas, whatever is the formula here, this formula, that is Q1 Q2 is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon R12 square, or it may be F2 Q2 Q1 is equal to Q2 Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon R square into unit vector. These formulas, if I write individually for these, that is every force, that is Fq1 Q bar plus Fq2 Q bar. Similarly, Fqn Q bar. Fqn Q bar will be Q1 into Q divided by 4 pi epsilon R square into R n Q bar, sorry, into AN Q bar, unit vector. Okay, the same formula what we have written here, the same formula, if I apply to all these forces, then the final equation will be, what is common in all, students? What is common in all? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught is common. Yes or no? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught is common in all the terms. So take it outside. Take it outside. Therefore, we have Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. Then what will be the remaining terms? If it is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught, what will be the remaining terms here? That is, if it is say Q1 to Q, okay, Q1 force act due to Q1 on Q, then it is Q1 Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. This Q is common in all. Okay, 4 pi epsilon naught is common in all. Then what will vary here? Summation I equal to 1 to n. Qi will vary. Q may be Q1, Q2, Q3, and so on up till Qn. Then the distance. Okay, the distance is between first one between R1 to Q. So therefore, next time it will be distance between R2 to Q. That is between the second charge and the charge Q, like that, and so on. Therefore, I can write it as RIQ square. RIQ square, because this Q1, Q2, this is changing. This is a variable. Therefore, I am writing it as R1Q square, distance. Then the unit vector, come to the unit vector. Unit vector is, for the first one, it is the that is the A1 to Q, Q1 Q, that is force of Q1 acting on Q. So destination is Q and the source is Q1. So it is R minus Ri. Okay. So this destination is Q, then the source is Q1. Q1 to Q, force of Q1 to Q. Correct. Therefore, here I can write it as destination is Q, that is R vector, okay, minus r1 vector divided by r vector minus r1 vector. Similarly, for the second one, r vector minus r2 vector divided by magnitude of r vector minus r2 vector. For the third one, r vector minus r3 vector divided by magnitude of r vector minus r3 vector, and so on. That is, this I is changing here, second term, that is r vector minus ri vector divided by the magnitude r vector minus ri vector. This is called as principle of superposition. Principle of superposition, okay, is called as principle concept, where we are finding the resultant force of n charges on a given charge. We are finding the resultant force or the net force, total force of n charges on the given charge. Okay, so such total force or the net force is what is called as the principle of superposition. It is called principle of superposition. Clear here? So any doubts up till here, students? Following, right, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Take this example, students. Note down this example. The example statement is like this: 2-point charges of magnitudes 2 millicoulomb and minus 7 millicoulomb located at places P1 of 4, 7, minus 5 and P2 of minus 3, 2, minus 9 respectively in free space. Evaluate the vector force on charge at P2. Evaluate the vector force on charge at P2. Note down this statement of the problem. Is it noted down, students? Noted down here?
Yes, sir.
Right. Read the given statement. There are two charges of magnitude 2 millicoulomb and minus 7 millicoulomb. There are two charges, Q1 and Q2. Where they are located? They are located at P1 of 4, 7, minus 5. It is some point. Okay, some point in free space. So I'll take this as P1. Okay, X, Y, Z coordinates, mark them like this. Then take a point P1. Okay, of 4, 7, minus 5. Some point, assuming it is a random point. I'm assuming just a random point. Then P2, it need not be exactly according to the coordinates. Just some random point I'm assuming, P1 of 4, 7, minus 5 here in this XY plane. Then P2 of minus 3, 2, minus 9. You can assume this in YZ also and XZ also. Okay. You can assume the same 2 points in YZ plane and also in the XZ, but some you have to assume it in such a way that it is a suitable one. Okay, you cannot assume anything anything in any of the planes. Suitable plane you have to take accordingly. X is, say here, X is 4, Y is 7. So X and Y it is positive. So I am assuming here, correct? Then X is minus 3, 2, minus 9. So some suitable point between P1 to P2. Okay, like this. Assume it like this. Then we have to find the vector force on charge at P2. Force on P2 produced by P1. Vector force on charge at P2. Whatever the charge present at Q2, the force acting on that charge due to charge Q1 at P1 should be calculated. Okay. Therefore, we are having the formula force on Q2 is given by, according to our equation of the force on Q2 is given by F2 is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 R2 square into A12 bar. As it is free space, relative permittivity is 1, epsilon R is equal to 1. Okay. Suppose in examination, if they give relative permittivity, then you have to assume that, or you have to consider that relative permittivity, whatever they are giving. They'll mention that epsilon R is equal to this much, epsilon R is equal to this much in that way. Okay. Epsilon naught is, we know that it is 8.854 into 10 to minus 12 farad per meter. Then epsilon R is 1 because it is a free space. Therefore, here we are having F2 bar is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 to 2 square into unit vector A12 bar. That is further equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 2 square. What is A1 to 2? That is A1 is P1, 2 is P2, 1 to 2. The distance vector is R12 bar. R12 bar, unit vector. Okay, it is acting in this direction between P1 to P2 in this direction. The arrow mark should be pointed from P1 towards P2. From P1 towards P2. Okay, that is R12 2. Then magnitude of that divided by magnitude of the R12 vector. Clear? So noted down this formula, students, here. I hope you all have noted down these formulas. If you not noted down, just note down this quickly. The figure and the formulas. Taken, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Let us find R12 distance vector R12 bar, that is destination minus source. Destination is P2, source is P1. Therefore, I'm writing it as P2 bar minus P1 bar. P2 bar minus P1 bar. That is, the point P2 is minus 3 AX plus 2 AY minus 9 AZ. Here it is, X coordinate is 4, Y coordinate is 7, and Z coordinate is minus 5. That is P2 minus P1. That is minus 3 minus 4 of AX bar plus 2 minus 7. The same coordinates you have to take, corresponding coordinates. That is x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, and z2 minus z1, like that. It is minus 3 minus 4 into ax bar. That is, I'm writing here minus 3 minus 4 into ax bar plus next one 2 minus 7 into ay bar plus az component minus 9 minus of minus 5. we'll have to be careful here. Minus 9 minus of minus 5. Okay, if we just take minus 9 minus 5, we'll go wrong. Answer will come wrong, final answer. Minus 9 or minus of minus 5. That is minus 9 minus of minus 5 into AZ bar. What is this? Minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7 AX bar. Then 2 minus 7 is minus 5 AY bar. Then plus minus 9 minus into minus is plus, minus 9 plus 5 is minus 4 AZ bar. Minus 4 AZ bar. Okay. So note down this here. Then magnitude of this R12 bar magnitude, that is, we know that magnitude is given by square root of minus 7 square plus minus 5 square plus minus 4 square. That will come out to square root of 90. Square root of 90. Later, find F2 bar, the force. It is, how will you find the force? F2. The formula is Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into unit vector A12 bar. Yes or no? That is, Q1 is how much? 2 millicoulomb. Q2 is minus 7 millicoulomb. Right? So just substitute these values. That's all. Divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to minus 12. Then R12 we have found out. That is R12 distance vector. It is square root of 90. Square of that, because it is R12 square. Yes. So it is square root of 90 square into the unit vector, that is R12 vector divided by its magnitude. R12 vector is, that also we have found out, minus 7 AX bar minus 5 AY bar minus 4 AZ bar divided by square root of 90. Square root of 90. Okay, divided by its magnitude. Magnitude is 90. Square root 90. Sorry. Find out the, substitute the value, students, and find out F2 equation in vector form. Do the calculation. Just substitute the values of Q1, Q2. All of you do that. Substitute the values of Q1, Q2, epsilon naught, R12 whatever we have found out, and unit vector, that is R12 bar divided by its magnitude of R12 bar. Substitute and tell me the answer. What you will get? The value of F2 bar, equation for F2 bar, vector equation. Yes, please do that. It just requires a simplification. Any answer, students? In terms of AX bar, AY bar, and AZ bar. I want everyone to all to do that. Every one of you all should do that. Any answers? Any answers here? Ankita, what is the answer you are getting? Ankita? Harsh Gowda? Harsh Gowda?
Sir,
Any answer? What is the answer you are getting, Harsh Gowda?
sir, I got for X, sir. Sir, 1020.26 into X bar.
Correct, almost correct. It will come 1031.603 AX bar. You have to consider up till 2 to 3 decimal places. Then you will get the correct value. Okay,
Yes,
if you
sir.
skip the decimal value up till 2 places, if you are not considering, you will not get the correct value. Exact value, accurate value you will not get. Answer will be
Okay, sir.
correct, but it will not be to the 2 decimal places. Okay, or 3 decimal places. Right, here they have considered up till 3 decimal places. Right, then what about AY component? Anybody have calculated AY component? AY, how much you are getting?
736.764.
Very good. Excellent. 736.859 AY bar. Nice. What about Z component? Who has got the Z component? Z.
589.411.
Correct. Exactly. 589.487 AZ bar. Approximately a slight variation is okay, but the difference should not be more. So when you are considering up to 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places, then you will get the accurate values. Okay. So the answer is like this, students. 1031.603 AX bar plus 736.859 AY bar plus 589.487 AZ bar. What is the unit of the force? Newton. Okay, that you should not miss. You will have to mention the unit also. It is in terms of newtons. Correct. This is the final equation for the force F2 bar. Right. I hope this problem is clear to everyone. Anybody not understood this problem? Yes, please. Anybody not understood this problem? Mohammed, did you understand this problem, Mohammed?
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. Rutik Chopde. Suraya Banu. Suraya Banu. Tejas. Tejas. Tejas Aksar. Vivek
Yes, sir.
Goni. Vivek, is it clear this numerical? Vivek. Vivek. Okay, fine. Right. Karthik. Karthik. Karthik
Yes,
Patil.
sir.
This numerical is clear, Karthik.
Sir, that last one F2 dash, that not what is.
You did not understand. Okay, I'll tell that. Here, F2 bar is equal to Q1 into Q2. Okay, it is Q1 into Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R12 square into A12 bar. This is the main formula. Okay, you have to know this formula. We know how we got this formula. We have discussed that at the beginning of the session, today's class. Okay,
Yes,
so it is
sir.
F2 bar is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q1 is what here, right? Then Q2 is minus 7. Note that it is minus 7. Don't take it simply as plus 7. It will go wrong. Answer will be wrong. Final answer. So it is minus 7 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Then R12 bar is whatever we have got here. R12 bar square. It is root 90 square. This is what I have written here. 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 into minus 7 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 1 upon root 90 square. Because what is R12 here? Magnitude of R12 is square root of 90. Square of that, it is root 90 square. Root 90 square into multiplied by unit vector. What is the unit vector from R? This Q1 to Q2, it is acting in the direction from Q1 to Q2. That is, from Q1 it is moving along the direction towards Q2. Okay, that is the direction of the unit vector. Hence we are taking this distance vector, that is vector is R12 bar divided by its magnitude, that is R12 bar magnitude. That gives the value of unit vector. Clear here? So
Yes, sir, got
R12
it.
bar, got it now. Okay, fine. Shall we move to the next problem then? So this is our R12 bar. Then R12 bar is minus 1 AX bar minus 5 AY bar minus 4 AZ bar divided by square root of the magnitude, that is root 90. If you simplify this, so how we will have to simplify? First you have to find this value. So whatever is outside the bracket, right? Then multiply with this root 90, find out that also. So this completely will be in the term of a value. Correct? You know how to simplify. You are very much familiar of the simplification process or the calculation part. Then once you are done with this, then go on multiplying inside. This value into minus 7, this value into minus 5, then this value into minus 4. It is left to you how you are calculating, but just I told one method of doing the calculation. Force experienced by the charge Q2. Let us say there is charge Q2. This is the charge which you have placed at the center. It is Q1. Then this charge Q1 will provide a force, or it will apply a force on Q2. Okay, there is a charge Q1. Due to this charge Q1, there is a force acting on the charge Q2. Force acting on the charge Q2 due to Q1. Similarly, if I place one more charge here, so this charge also experiences a force due to this charge Q1. Similarly, at the other places, okay, if I place some other charges, they are also experiencing some force due to this centrally placed charge Q1. Correct? Then what it means here is, this charge whatever we are placing, there is a certain region. There is a certain region in which the charges are experiencing the force due to the charge placed at the center, that is Q1. There is a certain region of the charges of the force in which the charges placed in this region or within this region experience of force due to the placed charge Q1, the centrally placed charge Q1. Correct? That is what is explained here. The force experienced by the charge Q2 due to Q1 is given by the Coulomb's law. That is F2 bar is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A12 bar. The same formula that we have used till now. Then I am taking this Q2 to the other side. That is force per unit charge. I am finding the force acting on this charge Q2 per unit charge. Per unit charge, whatever is the force acting on this Q2 charge, that will give me F2 bar by Q2. F2 bar by Q2. That is, if I rearrange the terms here, that will be simply F2 bar by Q2 is equal to Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A12 bar. Correct? F2 bar by Q2, force per unit charge. That is, I am taking this Q2 to the LHS. It will go to the denominator. That is, F2 bar by Q2 is equal to Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square into A12 bar. Okay. This is here called as electric field intensity or electric field strength. This force per unit charge is the nothing but electric field intensity or the electric field strength. Okay, and its formula is given by Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square into A12 bar. Okay, this is one of the definitions of the electric field intensity, that it is the force per unit charge. The same in the form of a definition is a vector quantity and is directed along a segment from the charge Q1 to position of any other charge. The electric field intensity is also a vector quantity because it involves the force. That force is a vector quantity. It is acting from Q1 towards Q2 or Q1 towards Q3, Q1 towards Q4 and so on. It is in the direction from the main charge towards this charge. That is the direction of the electric field intensity. This is denoted as E bar. It is denoted as E bar. E bar is given by Q1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R1 to P square into A1P bar. Then this P is nothing but position of any other charge around Q1. It is a position of the other charges surrounding the Q1. For example, we can take this P as 2 here. If we considering this charge Q2, we can take the P as 2, charge number second. Okay. So if we take that, then what will be the formula? E bar will be Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon R12 square into A12 bar. So this P is varying. This P is varying. It may be charge second, charge third, 4, 5, 6, and so on up till nth charge. Okay. That is P is equal to position of any other charges surrounding the charge Q1. That is, here it is shown the direction of the charge Q1 on charge Q2 is acting along the line connecting between Q1 and Q2. Okay. That is the direction of the electric field intensity. Let us assume that the second charge here, Q2, it is 1 coulomb. It is unit charge. Second charge is the unit charge. It is 1 coulomb. If it is 1 coulomb, then according to our formula, it will be E bar is equal to Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR bar. Because it is a force per unit charge. Charge is 1 coulomb. E bar is force divided by F divided by Q2. Correct? Q2 is 1. So it is F bar or E bar is equal to Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon R square into A1P bar, or it is AR bar here, because the distance between Q1 and Q2 is R bar we have taken here in this figure. Hence, we are getting E bar is equal to Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into the unit vector, that is the direction AR bar. Okay. Just we are replacing the charge Q2 by 1 coulomb. Unit charge we are considering, 1 unit of charge. I hope it is clear up till here. Any difficulty, students? Anything not understood? Any problem in understanding up till here? Yes, please. Students, are you here? Students?
Yes, sir.
I'm continuing with the second class also. Don't worry about the second class. I'm continuing with that. Okay. So here, any difficulty, students?
No, sir.
Okay, right. Fine. Let us find the unit of electric field strength or the electric field intensity. E bar is force per unit charge. Electric field intensity is force per unit charge, force divided by charge. That is, force unit is Newton and charge unit is Coulomb. So it is Newton per Coulomb. Newton per Coulomb. What is the unit of potential? Any idea, students? Unit of potential. What is the formula for potential? You have studied in your basic electrical. Potential formula. Or what is the formula for potential V in terms of the work done and the charge? Yes. How do you define potential? What is the formula for potential? Yes, please. Yes, students. What is the formula for potential in terms of work done and the charge?
Sir, Newton meter, sir.
Newton meter. Newton meter means it will be only work done. What about the charge? Charge will come in the numerator or in the denominator?
Newton per coulomb, sir.
Newton meter per coulomb. Okay, not only Newton per coulomb, it is Newton meter per coulomb. I'll explain that how it is. This potential is given by work done per unit charge. Okay, V is equal to W by Q. W by Q. Work done unit is joules, then Q is having the unit of coulombs. This work done unit is also Newton meter, because work done I can express it in the form of force into distance. Work done is the product of force and the displacement, or the force into distance. That divided by the charge Q. So force unit is Newton, distance is meter. It will be Newton meter per coulomb. Newton meter per coulomb. If I take this meter to the LHS, if I take this meter to the LHS, it will be volt per meter. That is equal to Newton per coulomb. Newton per coulomb. Okay, that means what it indicates, students, here? Newton per coulomb is the unit of the electric field intensity. It is also equal to volt per meter. Hence, we are using the unit of electric field intensity as also volt per meter. We are also using the unit of electric field intensity as volt per meter, apart from writing it as Newton per coulomb. Both are one and the same. Okay, either we can write it as Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. Follow one convention throughout. If you are using volt per meter, use it throughout volt per meter only, like that. Okay. I have considered two charges, one at A, another at B. The distance is r bar between A to B, correct? Then I am writing the formula for electric field intensity as Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR bar. Yes or no? That is force per unit charge. This is Q1. Charge at A is Q1. Charge at B is Q2. So force per unit charge will be F divided by Q2. F divided by Q2, that will be equal to Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR bar. That is E bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR bar, or E bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into R bar divided by magnitude of R bar, because that is the unit vector. R bar divided by magnitude of R bar, volt per meter. Volt per meter, electric field intensity. R square is equal to, this R square is magnitude of the R vector square, that is nothing but the distance between the points A to B. The distance between the point A to B is the distance vector, that is R bar. Clear here? Are you following here, students? Yes. Are you following here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Okay, right. Put down this example, students. We'll solve one more example. Let a point charge Q1 is equal to 25 nanocoulomb be located at A of 4, minus 2, 7, and charge Q2 is equal to 60 nanocoulomb be at the point B of minus 3, 4, 2. Find the vector E at the point C of 1, 2, 3, and find the direction of E bar. Direction of E bar. Did you all note down, students?
Yes, sir.
Right. What is given here? Let us see that. Read the problem statement. Let a point charge Q1 is equal to 25 nanocoulomb. There is one point charge Q1. It is a point charge. Okay, just at a point. It is 25 nanocoulomb located at A of 4, minus 2, 7. Let us consider 4, minus 2, 7. Okay, 4x is 4, y is minus 2, and z is plus 7. So it comes here, right, in this xz plane. Similarly, b of minus 3 comma 4 comma minus 2. There's one more charge, and charge q2 is equal to 60 nanocoulomb at b of minus 3 comma 4 comma 2. Minus 3, x is minus 3, then y is 4, then minus 2. Minus 2, z is minus 2 in the negative direction. So it comes here, minus 3 comma 4 comma minus 2. Then find E bar at C of 1 comma 2 comma 3 and find the direction of E bar. We will have to find out the magnitude and the direction of the electric field intensity E bar at the point C of 1 comma 2 comma 3. Electric field intensity, magnitude and direction at the point C of 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, there is some random point is in the YZ plane. We are considering C of 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now how to proceed? First, let us find the distance vectors from Q1 to C, that is A to C, and from B to C. The distance from A to C, it is R1 bar is equal to destination minus source. Destination is C, source is A. That is 1, x coordinate is 1, minus 4 into AX bar plus 2 minus of minus 2 into AY bar plus 3 minus 7 into AZ bar. Correct? That will be 1 minus 4 is minus 3 AX bar plus 2 minus of minus 2 is 2 plus 2 4 AY bar plus 3 minus 7 is minus 4 AZ bar. Note down this, students, quickly. Have you all noted down this?
No, sir.
Okay, note down quickly.
Sir, noted, sir.
Noted? Okay, right. Next, let us find R2. That is distance between B to C. B to C. Okay, it is 1 minus of minus 3. Destination is C. Source is B. 1 minus of minus 3 into AX bar plus 2 minus 4 into AY bar plus 3 minus of minus 2 into AZ bar. That is what it is written next. 1 bar is equal to minus 3. That is the magnitude we have got here. Sorry, we have got the magnitude. Let us calculate the magnitude of that vector R1 bar. That is square root of minus 3 square plus 4 square plus minus 4 square. That will be 9 plus 16. That is 25. 25 plus 16. That will be 41. So it is root 41. Next, find the R2 vector. R2 vector is, that's what I told. That is destination minus source. Destination minus source. Therefore, we'll be getting 1 minus of minus 3 into x bar plus 2 minus 4 into ay bar plus 3 minus of minus 2 into az bar. This R2 bar is 4ax bar minus 2ay bar plus 5az bar. Then find its magnitude. Magnitude is given by square root of 4 square plus minus 2 square plus 5 square. That comes out to square root of 45. Similarly, find E1 bar vector, E1 bar next, that is Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square into AR1 bar, or it is Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square, that is the AR1 vector, that is distance vector R1 bar divided by its magnitude of R1 bar. Then E2 bar is Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2 square into AR2 bar, that is Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2 square into the vector R2 bar divided by its magnitude of R2 bar. Correct? Then we are writing the net electric field intensity. The net electric field intensity due to the other charges at the given point of charge, that is nothing but the resultant or the summation of the individual electric field intensities. So E bar is equal to E1 bar plus E2 bar. There are two electric field intensities. E bar is equal to E1 bar plus E2 bar at the point C. That is electric field intensity E1 bar, that is due to charge at A on C, plus the electric field intensity E2 of the charge placed at B on the charge that is placed at C. Clear here? If you are finding out that, then that will be how to write that E bar is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, because see in E1 bar it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, in E2 bar also it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Take it outside into next Q1 divided by R1 square. Q1 is how much? What is the value of Q1? They have given it is 25 nanocoulombs. 25 nanocoulomb. Substitute that 25 to 10 to minus 9 divided by square root of divided by R square. Divided by this R square, R1 square. R1 square is root 41 square, means it will be 41 into the distance vector, because it is unit vector, R1 bar, that is we have already found out that minus 3 AX bar plus 4 AY bar minus 4 AZ bar, divided by its magnitude, that is root 41 plus what is the charge Q2 divided by R2 square. Q2 is how much?
16
16 nanocoulomb.
60
Yes, exactly 16 nanocoulomb. So should that 16 to 10 to minus 9 divided by the R2 square. R2 square is square root of 45 square, means it will be 45. This multiplied by 4 AX bar minus 2 AY bar, that is our R2 vector. R2 vector is 4 AX bar minus 2 AY bar plus 5 AZ bar divided by the magnitude of R2, that is square root of 45. So you'll have to simplify this. Okay, just take down this equation and later cross verify. Note down this equation here, cross verify later, take it for homework. 4.578 AX bar minus 0.149 AY bar plus 5.501 AZ bar volt per meter. This is the equation that we'll get. Note down these steps, students. Note down these steps here. Steps are important. Okay, you should go step by step. Then you will not go wrong in finding the final answer. Note it down, students.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Okay, take your time.
Sir, noted down, sir.
Okay, good. Next, we have found out the vector E. Next is we have to find out its direction. Correct. If you want to find the direction of E bar, then how we have to find out? We know that it is the given vector divided by its magnitude. Its unit vector is given by the given vector divided by its magnitude. That is, direction of E bar is E bar, that is given vector divided by its magnitude. So it is 4.578 AX, whatever we have got here, minus 0.149 AY bar plus 5.501 AZ bar. Okay, divided by its magnitude, that is square root of 4.578 square plus minus 0.149 square plus 5.501 square. That comes out to, if you simplify this, 0.639 AX bar minus 0.021 AY bar plus 0.768 AZ bar. Right? This is how we are finding the direction of the electric field intensity. It is given by its unit vector. Unit vector is the vector of the electric field intensity divided by its magnitude. That gives its direction. Okay. Okay, students. Shall we go to the next example? Second example.
Yes, sir.
Right. Note down this problem statement. 2 point charges 20 nanocoulomb and minus 20 nanocoulomb are situated at 1, 0, meter and 0, 1, 0 meter in free space. Determine electric field intensity at 0, 0, 1 meters. I'll repeat. 2 point charges 20 nanocoulomb and minus 20 nanocoulomb are situated or are located at 1, 0, meter and 0, 1, 0 meter in free space. Determine electric field intensity at 0, 0, 1 meters. Is your note down, students? Please note down. I hope you all have taken down. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Read the statement first. There are two charges, point charges, 20 nanocoulomb and minus 20 nanocoulomb. There are two charges. One, the magnitude of first charge is 20 nanocoulomb, magnitude of the second charge is minus 20 nanocoulomb. They are located at, or they are situated at 1, 0, meter. The first charge is located at 1, 0. That means x coordinate is there, y and z are 0. So it is on which axis? X coordinate is 1, y and z are 0. It is on which axis?
X-axis,
This
sir.
coordinate, x-axis. Very good. It is on x-axis. So it is 1, 0, this point. This we are taking it as point A. That is first charge, 20 nanocoulombs. 20 nanocoulombs. Then the next charge is located at 0, 1, 0. There is only y coordinate. X and z are 0. So it is which axis?
Y-axis.
Y-axis. It is lying on y-axis because the x and z are 0. So it is lying on y-axis. Correct? If you are considering z axis, it will be 0, 0, 1. That is what they have given. Determine electric field intensity at 0, 0, 1 meter. That is on the z axis. Correct? Because x and y are 0, we have only the z coordinate. That means it is lying on the z axis. So students, here we have to find the electric field intensity at the point on z axis, that is p of 0, 0, 1, due to the two charges located at A and at the coordinate B. Okay. R1 bar, that is distance between A to P. If I consider this point as P, that is A to P distance, it is given by the destination minus source. It is 0 minus 1 into AX bar plus 0 minus 0 into AY bar plus 1 minus 0 into AZ bar. Okay, that is 0 minus 1 into AX bar plus 0 minus 0 into AY bar plus 1 minus 0 into AZ bar. What will be this? This equation will be, so 0 minus 1 is minus 1 AX bar, 0 minus 0 is 0, that is 1 minus 0 is 1 AZ bar. So y coordinate is 0. Okay. Similarly, find for the R2 vector. R2 vector, that is from point B to point P. That is destination minus source. That is R2 vector is equal to 0 minus 0. That is here P coordinate, x coordinate of P is 0. Then x coordinate of B is 0. So 0 minus 0 into AX bar. Then y coordinate of P is 0. Y coordinate of B is 1. So it is 0 minus 1 into AY bar. Z coordinate of P is 1 and the Z coordinate of B is 0. So it is 1 minus 0 into AZ bar. This comes out to, the x component will be 0. 0 minus 0 into x bar is 0 plus 0 minus 1. It is minus 1 AY bar or minus AY bar plus 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 AZ bar or plus AZ bar.
Excuse
Then
me,
later on find, yes please.
sir. How to know which is destination and which is source, sir?
Yes. See, now what we want to find here, we want to find the electric field intensity on P due to the charges A and B. So when we are using the word due to the charges, that will be our source. And when we are using the word on that charge P, that will be our destination. But the point here, we are finding the electric field intensity of the 2 point charges located at A and B on the point P. So when we are using these charges, A and B will become the source, and on the charge which we are finding the electric field intensity, that will be our destination. That will be our destination point. Got the point here? Is it clear now? Yes, please. Okay, fine. Let us find the unit vector AR1 bar, that is R1 bar divided by its magnitude, R1 bar divided by its magnitude. This will be minus AX bar, whatever we have calculated here, minus AX bar plus AZ bar divided by its magnitude. The square root of minus 1 square plus 1 square, this comes out to minus AX bar plus AZ bar divided by root 2. Then AR2 bar is equal to, that is vector R2 divided by its magnitude. This is our vector R2 between B to P. Okay, we have found out R2 bar, that is minus AY bar plus AZ bar divided by its magnitude, that is square root of minus 1 square plus 1 square. This comes out to minus AY bar plus AZ bar divided by root 2, because square root of 1 plus 1 is 1. Sorry, 2. Square root of 1 plus 1 is square root of 2. So this is minus AY bar plus AZ bar divided by root 2. Right? Next, what will be the next step here? EP bar, the total electric field intensity at the point P. The total electric field intensity at the point P is electric field intensity due to the charge at A, that is E1 bar, plus the electric field intensity to the charge at point B, that is E2 bar. So I'll write it as EP bar is equal to E1 bar plus E2 bar. It is E1 bar. E1 bar is Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square AR1 bar. Then E2 bar is Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2 square into AR2 bar. Calculation part, see how it will be convenient for you all. Whether you can calculate Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square into AR1 bar first, right? Do that. Then if you want to calculate Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2 square into AR2 bar, you can do that. Then later on you can add them. That is one way. Another way is take this common, Q by 4 pi epsilon naught is common in both. So take it outside. 20 into 10 raised to minus 9 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into, because what are the two charges here, Q1 and Q2? Just look at the charges. One is 20 nanocoulomb, another one is minus 20 nanocoulomb. They are having same magnitude. The polarities are opposite. That's all. Magnitude is same. Hence, it will be 20 into 10 raised to minus 9. 2 is same. Q1 and Q2 values. 20 to 10 raised to minus 9 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into bracket R1 square. R1 is how much? 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 square into the unit vector AR1 bar. AR1 bar is minus AX bar plus AZ bar by, sorry, R1 bar is minus AX bar plus AZ bar. Write it, minus AX bar plus AZ bar divided by its magnitude, that is root 2. Plus, here we will have to be careful, because what is Q2? Q2 is how much? It is minus 20
Minus
nanocoulomb.
20.
Right? So if you are using it, if you write it here as plus, then we will go wrong. So to take it as minus, because the value of Q2 is minus 20 nanocoulomb. Hence I am writing it as minus 1 divided by root 2 square, that is magnitude of R2 vector square. Magnitude of R2 is how much? It is magnitude of R2 vector, we have calculated here. It is root 2 only. You are not calculated individually, but we are calculated in terms of the unit vector. So magnitude of R1 bar is root 2, magnitude of R2 bar is also root 2. The denominator here, in the unit vector equation, denominator is our magnitude, R1 bar, then R2 bar magnitude is also root 2. Okay. So substitute that minus 1 upon root 2 square, this into AR2 bar. AR2 bar is the equation minus AY bar plus AZ bar divided by root 2. That is minus AY bar plus AZ bar by root 2. Simplify this, students, and tell me the answer. Note down these equations quickly. Simplify and tell me the answer. What you all are getting. What will be the final electric field intensity EP bar? Tell me the equation of that. Did you all note down these equations, students, here? These two steps. What will be the answer, students? EP bar. How much you are getting?
Minus 63.55 AX bar plus
Okay.
63.55 AY bar.
Okay, 1 minute. We'll check it. Minus 63.55 AX bar plus 63.55 AY bar. Exactly, you are right. Correct. Okay. So all of you are getting these answers, students. EP bar is equal to minus 63.55 AX bar plus 63.55 AY bar volt per meter. Everyone are getting? Anybody not getting? Virupaksh Gowda? Virupaksh Gowda?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the answer, Virupaksh Gowda?
I'm trying, sir.
Try. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And try to calculate the value. Final value, you should get this. Please do
Okay,
that. Deepa Rathod. Deepa.
Yes, sir.
Getting this answer, Deepa?
No, sir.
Try out to see where you are going wrong. Just see that.
Okay, sir.
Steps up till here you got. You understood up till this step. All these steps you understood. Starting steps.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Later
sir.
on, just you all have to substitute. That's all. Okay. What you all can do is, if this is a little bit you're finding difficult here, what you can do is, you can find out Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square into AR1 bar first. then q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r2 square into r2 bar first, then you can add them, add the two vectors. Okay, you can do like that. That also you'll get the same answer. Otherwise, you can take it common like this and you can simplify. Both are one and the same. Okay, it is left to you how you do it take, and what will be convenient for you all. Accordingly, you do that. Okay. Lohit, Kiran Patrot, Kiran, Kiran, Kiran Patrot, Prathamesh, Prathamesh, Kinekar, Lohit, Lohit. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಸುದರ್ಶನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿತು, ಹೋಗೋ ಹೊರಗೆ.
Sankalp, are you able to listen to me? Sankalp?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are
Sankalp, there
audible.
was some network problem. Network was lost. We'll continue in the next class, right? I'll tell you all
Okay,
when
sir.
will be the next class. I'll inform you in advance.
Okay,
Thank you.
sir.
I hope everyone have understood. Sankalp, you all understood, no, today? What all we discussed? Prathamesh? Sudarshan? Ankita? Ankita?
Yes, sir.
Understood, right? Today's discussion?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.